I meant it as a joke. A bit of gallows humor to lighten the mood while we waited for the reactor diagnostics to finish cycling. Anyone who'd spent time on the frontier learned fast that laughter was cheaper than therapy, and usually more effective. You know, I said, leaning back in my crash couch and staring at the hollow readout flickering above us. If you weren't a 7-foot-tall alien with bioluminescent eyes and a tendency to disembowel things that annoy you, you'd make a perfect wife. She turned her head slowly. The soft glow beneath her translucent skin shifted from its usual cool blue to something warmer, like sunrise through ice. Then she smiled. I accept, she said. That was how my life went completely off the rails. I'm human. Name's Daniel Carter, systems engineer for the United Terran Exploration Corps. I was stationed aboard the Wayfarer's Resolve, a mid-range exploration vessel tasked with mapping the Perseus Fringe. We were 3 months beyond the nearest relay buoy when everything went wrong because of course it did. First contact had already happened decades ago. Humanity wasn't special because we were alone. We were special because we adapted. We learned languages faster, negotiated harder, and rebuilt ships with half the resources anyone else needed. That reputation was why the Wayfarer had been assigned a Virexian liaison. Her name was Sakira. The Virexians were apex predators turned philosophers, tall, elegant, and biologically terrifying. Claws like monomolecular blades. Reflexes that made our best soldiers look sleepy. And a culture built around binding oaths and shared burdens. Sakira was assigned to observe human engineering practices. I was assigned to keep her from accidentally killing anyone. We got along surprisingly well. The reactor malfunction hit us during a microjump. Space twisted, gravity screamed, and half the ship went dark. Emergency bulkheads slammed shut. We were cut off from the rest of the crew, sealed in engineering with only partial life support. That's when the joking started. That's when I said the stupid thing. Sakira's acceptance wasn't playful. It wasn't teasing. It was formal. You are serious? I asked carefully. Yes, she replied. In Virexian culture, a declaration of suitability for lifelong partnership is a binding proposal unless immediately rescinded. I was kidding. She tilted her head. You did not rescind. I opened my mouth, closed it, thought about the fact that we might die in this room alone if the reactor didn't come back online. Let's survive first, I said. Her smile widened. Agreed. The next 48 hours were hell. Radiation leaks, power reroutes, manual repairs in suits never meant to handle that kind of stress. I rewired half the reactor control system with salvaged conduits and human stubbornness. Sakira held collapsing bulkheads in place with her bare hands while I welded supports. When my oxygen ran low, she shared hers, her biology somehow compensating for both of us. At one point, a containment brace snapped and nearly crushed me. Sakira moved faster than physics should allow, yanking me clear and taking the blow herself. Her shoulder cracked audibly. You're hurt, I said. I will heal, she replied. You are essential. That stuck with me. By the time we stabilized the reactor and sent a distress ping to the bridge, we were exhausted, battered, and very much alive. Humans did that. We survived. The fallout was worse than the reactor breach. Virexian law took verbal commitments seriously. Terran diplomats took interspecies misunderstandings seriously. Within a week of docking at a coalition station, I was sitting in a room with 3 human ambassadors, 2 Virexian elders, and a legal AI quietly screaming in 12 languages. She accepted, the elder said calmly. The bond is valid. I made a joke, I said for the 100th time. Akira sat beside me. He spoke from instinct, she said. Humans often mask sincerity with humor. I understand this now. Every eye turned to her. I still accept, she added. Silence. That's when I realized something terrifying. She wasn't doing this out of obligation. She wanted this. I had weeks to think while negotiations dragged on. About how she trusted me with her life in engineering. About how she listened when I talked, really listened. About how she learned human expressions and corrected herself when she scared the crew. About how she believed in me without hesitation. Humanity prided itself on adaptability, on crossing boundaries others feared. We'd married across nations, cultures, planets. Why not species? The final decision came down to me. I stood before the council, hands shaking, heart pounding. I didn't mean it as a proposal, I said honestly. But I meant the sentiment. Sakura makes me better. She saved my life. I trust her with anything. I looked at her. If you're still willing, I'd like to make the joke real. Her bioluminescence flared bright enough to light the chamber. I am willing, she said. The bond was sealed. Life after that was different. The media had a field day. Human marries alien predator. HFY. Love conquers biology. There were protests. There were cheers. There were think pieces arguing humanity was either doomed or transcending. We ignored most of it. Sakura stayed with the core as a cultural bridge. I got promoted partly for saving the ship, partly because humans suddenly needed a lot more interspecies engineers who could think sideways under pressure. We built a home on a mixed-species station orbiting a blue dwarf star. Our routines were odd but comfortable. She learned to cook, carefully given her claws. I learned Virexian meditation techniques that helped humans manage stress and pain. Sometimes she still smiled that same smile. You changed our people's view of humans, she told me once. They see your resilience, your loyalty, your capacity to commit even when afraid. Shrugged. We're good at that. Years later, when a coalition crisis erupted, a rogue AI fleet threatening inhabited systems, it was human improvisation and Virexian precision that turned the tide. Joint task forces, shared command, trust born not of treaties, but of relationships. Ours became a symbol, not because it was perfect but because it was chosen. I once joked to a woman who could tear me in half that she'd make a perfect wife. She agreed. And in doing so, she reminded the galaxy of something humanity had always known deep down. We don't just survive the unknown. We welcome it, joke about it, commit to it, and then build a future together. Why?